Hello, everyone, and welcome to the electronic scoreboard for APBA Football. And you may be able to use it for other football games as well. So this is a very simple setup, and it doesn't do a whole lot, but it does your play calling. And it does it based on the number of rushing attempts that you enter in for running back 1, 2, and 3, and also the receptions for receiver 1, 2, 3, and 4. And running back 1, 2, and 3. So there's an algorithm that will run through these numbers when you put them in there. And then based on the random number that is equal to the total of all these, you'll basically get the same percentage of running attempts to the correct runners and receptions to the correct receivers. And you have the choice of calling a run, short pass, medium pass, and long pass. And on long pass, you will not get passes to the running backs. So, yeah, it's very handy. And I just played a game between the 2006 Saints and the 2006. I'm going to put in the 68 Jets for this sample. I just played a game between the 2006 Saints and the 2006 Panthers. And I used this. It basically everything's contained within this rectangle, this square here. And I played it on the iPad, and it worked out really good. So after you put in the names of the two teams, visiting team first, and then click this arrow to bring up the home team. Put the year in there. Click load lineups. And if I've played these teams before, it'll automatically load my lineups. And we'll get through the little intro from the Monday Night Football crew. So these two teams, obviously, I've played before, and the lineups are automatically loaded. But you can click here for the teams you're playing. You may not, have a lineup auto-loaded, so you can put in the name and click OK, and it'll pop up. You can do that for all of them. Now, for the Saints, I also loaded, I preload the number of rushing attempts by running back 1, which is Deuce McAllister. The running attempts for running back 2, Reggie Bush, and the rushing attempts for running back 3, Mike Carney. And the receptions for the top 4 receivers, Marcus Colston, Devery Henderson, Joe Horn, and Terrence Copper. They're all right here. Reggie Bush was a big receiver out of the backfield. He's running back number 2. He got 88 receptions. McAllister had 30, and Carney had 15. So when I call run, it's looking at these numbers here, and you'll see most of the runs should go to Deuce McAllister. And so, for instance, if you were to put 0 here, the only runs you'll get will be Deuce McAllister. So the algorithm goes through there and looks at how many actual rushing attempts. And so you just put them in there for the team that you're playing. And you just do this, it takes a couple minutes, maybe a minute or two to put it in there for the teams you're playing. And then this scoreboard, it's not a scoreboard, this helper will call your plays for you. Call run, short pass, medium pass. If I have pictures, they'll come up. Medium pass and long pass. And like I said, you will not get a running back if you call long pass, and you will get them sometimes on medium and of course short. I've also got it so it's preloading the offensive V splits, passing offensive points, running offensive points, defensive pass points, and defensive run points. And if you just tab through these, it'll calculate your difference between the visiting team, and click here to get to the home team, and the home team, which doesn't have anything pre-entered. These are the default values. So 40, 40, 40, 40. Now this sack rating was automatically entered too. What you're looking at is the defense for the Saints on this one, because when you're playing here, if you're using the OGuard 62 sack and interception innovation, which I like to use because it brings in the defense. Then you want to see the defense of the other team. So this is based on the sack and interception rating of the Saints. And when you tab through these, they'll get color coded for you too. So again, you'd want to put in the rushing attempts for each running back 1, 2, and 3, and then receptions for receivers 1 through 4 and the 3 running backs. And then you just call your plays here. There's also keyboard shortcuts. If you don't want to be clicking on the screen or on the iPad, you can just touch these. And this looks nice on the iPad. It's perfect size. You've got your index here. But in the background, when you're calling these plays, the thing is about this helper is it compares and looks at this index, and it basically performs the function of the APBA defense strategy calling cards. So it'll put up the index that they should be in. So for the Jets, they're a run +3. And so when you see this, it's putting it through a algorithm that will match their offensive points for the run against the index of the defense against the run here. So if they have a bad defense, say it's 30 on the run, and this is the Saints, and then the Jets are on offense, you can see that on the run, the Jets are now +10. So you'll notice that they'll be up in the A index more often than not. And there's another algorithm that runs and it calls your defensive play too. And so it emphasizes the defense even more into the game, which I love because I love getting the defense into APBA football. APBA's great for the representing the offensive numbers on the cards for the players, but the defense, if you get that in there with the sack and interception innovation, and now with this helper matching the indexes against each other, cross-referencing the pass offense against the pass defense and the run offense against the defense's run defense, it's creating a floating index that will mostly be A, but there'll be times when they can go down. See, it went down to a B, and there's a weighted randomness, so sometimes eventually you might even get put in the C. But on the other side, it also uses that index to emphasize the defense even more because it impacts the defensive call. So defensive teams that are outmanned, like if the Jets with a +10, they will not get the call correct for against the run to put in that G. They'll have less G's, they'll have more S's, and defense D's. Thus, you're shifting the weight of the game based on these indexes and bringing that emphasizing this defense even more. So, like I said, there's keyboard shortcuts as well. So to change possession, which is the same as clicking here, it's the P key, and that'll change your possession back and forth. I'm watching the O's game as well, and they're in extra innings, and it's a really good game. Okay, so the other shortcut keys on the keyboard are R for run, S for short pass, M for medium pass, and L for long pass. So that's cool. And like I said, the only lineups that'll come up automatically is if you put in the name of a team and a year that I played and I put a lineup in. But you can change these names. If the lineups don't come up, you can enter them here, or you can change them to whatever you want. And then the Jets did not have preloaded the attempts for the running backs, rushing attempts, or the receptions. These are default values. So you would just go in here and put in the values from profootballreference.com, and then you'll get the actual percentage of carries for each person and the percentage of receptions as you put them in there. And it'll use that when you call the plays to give you allocate the player assigned for each play based on their numbers in here. So what else does it do? The pictures will show up if I have them loaded for certain players. Basically, you call your play when you want to run. if you want a short pass. And like I said, it'll automatically calculate based on the defensive and offensive points that you put in for each team. And again, remember, this shows the sack and interception of the other team. So and this is for results 16 through 19, whether it was complete or incomplete. If it was a positive number, oh my God, they always did something. If it's a positive number, it'll be green. And if it's a negative number, it'll be red. So if they get an interception, for instance, the Saints have a poor interception rating. If Joe throws an interception, you roll, and if it's a 14 or less, then it's not an interception. In fact, it could be a complete pass if you roll an 11 to 43, and then you look at result PRN 8 for the completion. On the other hand, if it was a positive 14, on PRNs of 16 to 18, which could be complete or incomplete for Joe. If it was a positive number, then this would be green. And if you roll a 1 to 14 on PRN 16 to 19, it would be a interception. And so anyway, that's the OGuard 62 and Mark Z sack and interception innovation. You don't have to use that. You don't have to use the split ratings. You can just put in the defensive rating for the offense in both blocks here and the defensive rating for the defense, the one rating in both. And so basically you can call your plays and get the index and the defensive play called for you on every play just by clicking a button or hitting a key on your keyboard. R for run, S for short pass, M for medium, and L for long pass. P to change possession, to go back and forth between the teams. And that is about it. Like I said, I just used it on my iPad, so you can use it on your PC or your iPad. And I will put the link in the description of this video. And let me think. I think that's about it. I just wanted to share this because I think it's so cool. It's simple. Like I've been scoring using a pad of paper, which I love. It just seems to bring out the gamer in me. And I take in the game a little bit better when I'm doing it on paper. And I can enter the stats into my spreadsheet just as quickly as if I had done it on with using one of my full-fledged electronic scoreboards. So anyway, you keep your score and your time on your paper, but this will do your play calling and save you a lot of headache. So give it a try. Put in your team roster and put in the rushing attempts and the receptions for the receivers and running backs. It only handles 4 receivers and 3 running backs. And put in your offensive points and defensive points. The passes on the top, and if you use splits, the passing points are on the top and the running are on the bottom. And if you use the sack and interception innovation, you can put that in there. Remember to tab through these for them to calculate the indexes for you and to show the colors when you put a value in here, just to turn them green or red. And again, this is the sack and interception innovation from OGuard 62 and Mark Z. So the green is for positive numbers. They get more sacks and they had less interceptions. So there's a chance they'll have less interceptions if you roll a 1, 12 or less on an interception. And this is the defense of the other team. So this is what would be for the Jets. And this is what would represent the Saints, the opposing team. All these other things are for this team that you're seeing. So based on the index right now, you can see that they're a run A plus 10, but that's because I put this way down. If I was to put them at 41, it would change it, and they would be a B minus 1. Okay, so I guess that's about it. I can take questions on the forum or in the comments of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the forums.